Sure feels good. I'm flying high. I never tell a secret that it's all a lie. The same old salesman, that's me. For whatever is ailing you, I've got the remedy. And I snake old salesman, that's me. And I snake old salesman, that's me, yeah.
Welcome, everybody. It's Thirsty Thursday this time already again for the month of June. You see, I got Chaz here with me tonight. Everybody I see is in the chat already. If you would give Chaz a warm welcome, I appreciate him joining us tonight. Before we get started, we'll start off with a toast. And tonight I'm drinking Four Roses single barrel. So let me give this a pour here. And I'm going to give a toast to the sun shining here in Maryland. No more rain. Cheers, everybody. Happy Thursday. All right. So what is going on, everybody? I see there's 47 people in here right now. So let's see who is in the chat. Mountaintop Outdoors, Jeff and Patty, how you doing? Deb, how are you? Good to see you here. The Hogs Logs is out in California. He says it's 5 o'clock out there watching Thirsty Thursday in the late afternoon. Obi is here. Everett Thompson, good to see you. Dick from Old Guy Firewood. Ty Man, of course, is here. Jack from Log Cabin Firewood. I know I'm missing some people. I'm just scrolling through the chat real quick. Matt Weimer, what's up, buddy? I see you got Chaz coming out to give you an estimate on Tuesday. So he says thank you for that. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of discussion about what's going on with him here tonight. Shibe, how are you, buddy? Good to see you. Got the old 7-way firewood wedge back on the 1222 I saw. I'm going to have to come up and give that pizza wedge a try as well. Kevin Machado, good evening. And we're just Tim Stout. I see you there. And we're just about caught up here. Joe Gilbert, cheers to you, buddy. All right. Ken from York Firewood, I just saw you go by as well. So I try to get to everybody here early in the chat and acknowledge everyone. But if I missed you, I apologize. If you've got a question tonight, as always, please put a Q before your comment so that it'll help me pick it out. Taylor's not here with me tonight. She is down at the softball diamond watching an all-star game. We'll get more into that here shortly about Taylor and her situation, but she's down there watching softball. She can't play, but she still loves to watch it. So yeah, put a Q in front of your question. And if you're new or if you see anybody new in here, let's give them a warm welcome as well. Tim said, "Where's Brad?" I'm right here. I hope you can see me. Yeah. He likes the supportive shirts. We're backwards here. I got his shirt on and he's got my shirt on. Glad you caught that. Cash 5150. It is Four Roses single barrel tonight. That's what I'm sipping on. And Joe from Joe's Firewood videos. He said, Ted is arriving with his repaired Ultra. That's good. That Husky, you've been giving it a workout here lately. So it'll be good to have the old Easton made back. Speed up your process there a little bit. When Ted arrives, make sure you let him know I said hello. Patty's still calling me Nate. That has permanently stuck for sure. All right. So I know you all caught the shorts video. Well, if you didn't catch the shorts video the other day, I was working in the rain trying to get this firewood stand done before the upcoming holiday weekend for 4th of July. And we are just about there. I got a couple little things left to do that I'm going to work on tomorrow. You will see that on Wednesday's video, and everything is coming along pretty nicely. It's turning out how I had envisioned it. So, yeah. So if your screen was frozen, sometimes it does help to refresh. So I hope you're good to go now, Tim. But anyway, we just got a few finishing touches to do on the stand. I saw a lot of comments on the video about the firewood stand about putting something on the back and front trailer jacks to keep it from tipping if they unload it unevenly. And I know I didn't mention that in the video, but that's definitely something that I had already planned on doing. There will be jack stands or some kind of jack on the front and the rear of that trailer when it's done. And but yeah, the sun was shining all day today. I got off work from my part-time job and went over there and worked on it a little bit. So that you will see that on Wednesday's video. It will be out and ready to use for this upcoming 4th of July weekend. So that's the status of that. If anyone has any questions for Chaz or any comments he wants to make to Chaz, feel free to throw them in the chat as well. He can answer some questions that obviously I can't answer. I know that some people were commenting on the video this past week about those oak logs that I got and how nice and straight they were. The plan was to get the top out of that tree, but when I got there, the top was almost already gone and chipped up. So I ended up getting some of the logs out of it. He took the rest of the logs to the mill, but they were some really good logs that I got. So here's a question for you, Chaz, from Jack at Log Cabin Firewood. So, hey, let's meet Chaz. Mr. Chaz, what got you into wanting to start a tree service?
Growing up as a kid, I would come out of a family without a father. My neighbor did tree work, and I always hung out with him in his wood shed and went on side jobs with him and worked on chainsaws. And I just drew a liking. I guess I admired him for that. I got a little bit of experience at it, and it just stuck with me as a young kid. So he was an old school guy. He started doing tree work in 1957. So I learned the hard way.
Yeah, so Chaz actually worked for a tree company before he started his own tree company, maybe a couple different companies.
Yeah.
But he's got the setup going now. He works smarter, not harder now for sure. You see it in some of the videos there. He's got great equipment and all the right equipment to do the job. So, and he is the #1 tree service here in this county where we are. The local paper does a survey every year with the citizens in the county. And what is it, 2-3 years running now that you've been voted the #1 tree service?
They actually just started the voting process again for the companies running against each other.
There you go. It's coming up again here, so I'm sure it'll be the same result this year. Brandon, yes, we do have the Canada smoke here once again. During this last cycle when all the rain was coming through, we didn't have it. I guess the way, I'm not a meteorologist, but the way the jet stream was, it was pushing the smoke somewhere else. But now that the weather pattern has changed, it was pretty hazy here today. A lot of air quality alerts here. They've canceled some games and canceled some things that are going on.
Canceled horse racing today too.
Canceled horse racing. So I don't think I've ever mentioned this to you all before, but Chaz is into horses pretty big time. He's a breeder. He owns some race horses, and he's got a horse coming up that's going to race next weekend down at Laurel Raceway. So
that you're going to have to go to and get me some pictures.
I'll be there. I will be there to see Crabs and Beer run for sure. That's the name of the horse, Crabs and Beer. He's doing pretty well. Finished second a couple weeks ago, and he's got a few wins under his belt. It's a 2-year-old horse.
Yeah, he's 4.
He's 4. Okay. The Bows and O's is 2.
Bows and O's will run on August the 2nd at Delaware Park.
Awesome.
That's Natty Bow and Baltimore Orioles is what that name stands for. So hopefully I get some hype over that with the Orioles doing good.
Yeah.
We can get her to win a picture, maybe mail them a picture, and
that would be neat.
Get some hype out of them.
That would be cool. William Klein wants to know if you've noticed the ticks being bad this year.
No, I haven't noticed any ticks.
I've found one tick on me so far this year.
I did one little one, but nothing like anything that stood out. I just noticed the baby spotted lanternflies.
Oh, I haven't seen the lanternflies yet. If you don't know what the spotted lanternflies are, they're a huge problem here on the East Coast the last couple years, and they're just wreaking havoc on the orchards and the vineyards. They really like the fruit trees, and they're just killing the trees off.
It's good for the tree economy, but it's a shame. In the long haul, it's
almost like when the emerald ash borer got in here, and I guess it's still here.
15 years ago, they tried to prevent the emerald ash borers, hanging bags, everything else. That once they go, they go. People try treating them, but it's like putting oral gel on a toothache.
Right.
It lasts for a little bit.
Yep. And same thing with the spotted lanternflies. They tried to prevent you from hauling anything across state lines, and you had to take a class on what their nest eggs look like so you can destroy them, but they're out of control.
The best way to control them is get that real thick tape and fly strip or whatever it is and put it around your tree, and they'll go to it and just keep changing it.
Yeah, because they congregate in swarms at the bottom of the tree, and they just sit there. I guess I don't know if they eat the sap out of the tree or what they do, but they end up killing the trees, and they're really attracted to fruit trees, from what I understand. Let's see here. Yeah, Joe, I appreciate that. Joe was the number 18 like. There was 88 watching at the time. Looks like there's 93 now. So if you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please do that for us. It certainly helps out the algorithm for the channel. Tim Stout said he couldn't see a quarter mile this morning in northeastern Pennsylvania.
Wow.
That's pretty bad. I mean, there's like a haze, but I think the visibility wasn't too bad. But you can definitely tell. You can almost smell it. Ken from York Firewood up in Pennsylvania wants to know if you know a tree guy named Brandon Ritz from Specialty Tree Service.
Never heard of.
Nope.
Where's he out of?
He's up in Pennsylvania, York, Pennsylvania, I guess.
I don't know a whole lot of people out that way.
He does. He pretty much keeps his work local here. He stays plenty busy right here close to home. So, yep, they got smoke. Jeff said they got smoke up in central New York. I hope they can get that under control here soon, because that's been going on for quite a while. Cash 5150 says that I can be your jockey. I'm a little too big of a guy to be a jockey. I have met one of Chaz's jockeys before, and they're pretty cool guys. That's a whole nother world that I'm still trying to enter and learn a little bit about. They talk in lingo when it comes to horse racing that I just don't understand.
I got to reach my ear in there to filter out
Yeah.
They talk like they got a mouthful of crap.
But it's amazing how they all know each other. They all know the horses' names. They know the jockeys. They know the owners. They know the breeders. And it's a pretty
The
cool
horse
community.
world's a big world, but it's a small world.
Yeah.
If you don't pay your bills and you're an owner, if you have bad horses, if you've done something, you might. It's just like social media. It'll
Yeah.
travel just like
Yeah,
that.
your reputation follows you everywhere. Log Cabin Firewood says he's drinking some Natty Bows right now.
There you go.
Well, when Bows and O's runs at Dover or
It'll be
Delaware Park, I'm going to have to let you know, Jack, so maybe you can put a little wager down on Chaz's horse there. And you're the owner of that horse, right?
Yes.
All right.
I'm a little empty.
Matt Weimer said he worked last Sunday and pulled 5 ticks off of him.
Where at?
He's a trooper, so I guess he was stopping cars and trucks and probably along the – I remember when I was working the road and I would stop traffic along the shoulder in tall grass and weeds. I used to find them all
Well,
on
the
me.
last tick that I got was in Virginia when we were out there.
Yeah, me too. We'll talk about that here shortly too. I kind of teased that we had some news to share with you tonight, and it wasn't good news, and we're going to talk about that coming up here shortly. Joe Gilbert says, why don't you mention about the grand opening today at the Great Wolf Lodge? Yeah, so I kind of slipped my mind. Thanks for bringing that up, Joe. But right here in our hometown, the Great Wolf Lodge has opened their largest facility, I guess you would call it, that they have ever built. And it's going to be quite the attractant here in the local area. So I think if you've got kids or if you're into that kind of thing, water parks and such, the Great Wolf Lodge is brand new and just opened up here in Cecil County, Maryland. Just trying to catch up. There's another question for you here, Chaz, from BW35 Bucket. Chaz, over the years working in your field of work, what has been your favorite saw to run? We're gonna jump off a cliff here. This is gonna start some conversation.
Well, it depends on what category you're talking. You talk about small caliber saws. Small caliber would be the 200T, the old school.
That's top handle saw, right?
Yeah. They got, the rough and tough exhaust. You take the screen out of them. Then they changed them around like they do everything. And
for emissions,
the
I
government
guess.
gets a little bit involved. So then they got to come out with the 201s. But the 201s lately in the last year have really been comparable to the 200s. I like the 660s, the 40s, the 460s. I bought some 880s in the past, but they just can't keep up with the torque and the RPM. They just don't cut for my liking. I like the 395 XPs when you're getting up in them big saws.
I do notice when you need the long bar saw, you do grab the Husky. But now you mentioned the 660 and the 460. You didn't say anything about the 500Is that you've been buying.
Well, it's all the same. 660 and a 500i, they're just the same saw. I think they just got a different.
I think
the
the
new ones. When you come up to the new 660s and the 500s, they just run the same to me.
I think the 500i is definitely quicker throttle response.
Yeah, well, the new ones have that too with the 660s.
And lighter. The 500i is for sure lighter. I mean, I got a 660 clone and a 500 sitting right here.
I mean, I own 6 of them.
Yeah.
So it's not like I don't like them. But
what saw do your guys like to run, you think, the most?
On the ground?
Yeah.
They pick that 500 up because the 660 usually is put up. So, they like the 460 and they like the 500, the new ones.
Yeah. So coming from a professional there, he runs both steel and Husky. So maybe we can put some debate to bed here before it gets going.
I think we need to have I think you need to get some guys together here. We get that 395 XP and get somebody come up here with a 880 and we can answer some questions.
We could do that. We might be able to do that at the next fellowship.
Yeah, I'll bring that 395 as long as I'm not out of town somewhere at a horse race.
You might get your feelings hurt.
Well, if I do, that's okay. I'll buy their saw off of them because that'll be the first one that I know that can outcut it.
Oh, goodness. Wow, it's thick right now. Oh, man. Chris is here from Colorado. Thank you for joining us, Chris. I appreciate you being here tonight. Dick from Old Guy Firewood wants to know if you have a spider lift. My tree guy has a 90-foot, and it's fascinating.
I tried the spider list about 5 years ago, and I couldn't get nothing done with them because the sensors and everything else kept going off, and somebody had to override it, stuff like that.
Well, if it's not perfectly level, or
if it moves a little too much one way or the other. I'm not saying I wouldn't check them out, but I think that my next move in the next 3 years to 4 years is going to be a grapple saw truck. So 120-foot reach kind of truck, maybe a little more. I know probably costs $500,000 for that thing, but
grapple saw truck. I've watched some YouTube videos of them. If you don't know what that is, it's basically what it says it is. Reach up 100 foot in a tree. It will cut the top out of the tree and grab it at the same time, and then bring it right to the chipper.
Yeah.
So that would be pretty wild.
I run rear mount 75 footers.
Yeah, he's got a couple bucket trucks, 75 foot, and they get to pretty much everything that you need to do. And, on crane jobs.
Especially around here, we're not like down the city where we got these small little yards. Everybody around here, 90% is an acre or more.
Mm-hmm.
So, you get that truck in between the houses. You can get it, just about anywhere. You can get it just about anywhere as long as it's sort of flat and there ain't no septic tank between there and where you're going.
Right. That's definitely something you got to watch out for. Tony from TC's Outdoors is just checking in. He's at his daughter's softball tournament. Well, good luck to her. It's great weather, at least here. It's great weather for a ball game tonight. So thanks for stopping by, Tony. If you can't hang out, appreciate you checking in there. Let's see here. Yeah. Jack, I passed you on Mountain Hill Road there. I was coming from his job. He wasn't far from you, down near the campground.
Where was that?
That job out at Carpenter's Point on the water. That's where I got that maple and oak from.
Oh, yeah. Down there where they're putting them homes and stuff in there.
Yep.
I do so much work. I got to think for a minute.
Jeff said maybe he can be a jockey for you. I don't want to say how big Jeff is, but he's bigger than I am.
Well, so he'll have you can be a gallop boy, have real strong legs. So when the jockey gets on him, he can run real fast.
That's funny. Yeah. So I know I mentioned something about if you left a comment on yesterday's video when I was picking up some wood from Chaz in the rain, that you would be able to possibly win a prize tonight, and that is still on. We have 3 prizes to give away. I'll go ahead and tell you right now, the prizes are shirts from Chaz. He brought 3 of them. He's got a blue one, an orange one, and a green one. He's picking them up right now. So I think we've got an extra large and two X's. So we'll be giving those away here coming up soon. The whole graphics on the back here, I'll show you that, his logo. So that, if you didn't leave a comment on yesterday's video, jump over there real quick, leave a comment, and we'll get into a random comment picker here in a little bit, and give those shirts away. Of course, we still have the whiskey glass that we give away every month with the trivia question. So we're going to get to that as well. Dave Watkins, good evening. It's good to see you.
How you doing, Dave?
Just trying to get caught up. I know I'm pretty far behind in the chat. I try to keep as caught up as I can.
I tell you, Echo makes the real little saw, trim saw. It probably cost about $350. It's the smaller saw of their big saw. That thing's got major torque. That little saw will surprise you. I mean, I like them saws as well. I
Which
forget
one?
the number. It's a little Echo.
Oh, I think we had that on the live stream last time you were here.
Yeah,
Didn't we bring that in? It had the steel bar on it.
Yes.
Yeah, I forget what model number that was too. It's a
Yeah.
little tiny top handle saw.
And they're pretty expensive, but now your top handle saws are getting up around $800. Used to be able to buy them for $450.
You can buy a 660 for that, can't you?
Well, 660s are up around 1,500 now.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Right up there with the 500s.
Yep. Not so famous Dave's Barbecue. How are you doing? There's a customer of mine jumping in here. He's got his YouTube channel as well. I know that he was doing it for a while and then it kind of went away for a little bit, but he's getting that going again. Great guy. Check him out. Not so famous Dave's Barbecue. Glad to see you here in the chat tonight, my friend. Cowboy Joy and the Rough Cuts. This cowboy doesn't have to get up at 4 a.m. for work tomorrow, so I decided to join in. Well, I appreciate that. 4 a.m. does come early, so I can totally understand that. But no work tomorrow. I hope you can hang out with us for a little bit. Yeah, I'm way behind on the chat because people are still talking about the saws and having a cutoff.
That'd be fun.
There's Andrew from Easton Made jumping in. Happy Thirsty Thursday, guys. Thanks for stopping by, Andrew. Good to see you. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody coming up here in only, 6 weeks, 6.5 weeks. We'll be in New York for the Woodsman's Days.
One of those,
I thought you were going to come to Paul Bunyan this year.
when is that?
That's in October.
Okay.
But
We have to figure out the dates.
I got the dates right here, I think. Let me pull it up somewhere. Maybe I don't. But I can tell you the dates. But anyway, yeah, it's only 6 weeks away. I haven't been to that show yet. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be cool. He says they got some good-looking shirts, Chaz.
Thank you. I didn't know what to think about the blue, but then they started wearing them. They grew on me pretty hard. I like them. They really stand out.
Yeah, they do.
Give
And
you something different to look at.
yeah, they stand out for your customer or for the public to look at. And if your guys are wearing them while they're working, they can be seen easily too. So it's a win-win. Brandon, no trivia yet. Go get those cows in. We'll be here when you get back. We'll probably do the trivia, I don't know, in about 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes. We'll get that done. Bill says that the guy next town over from him has a 100-foot saw grapple truck. It says $550,000. He lays awake many nights with that payment. Yep. I mean, I would imagine if you're making that payment, you got to make sure you're working.
Well, you'd have to do a lot of subbing for some other companies that aren't your competitors. You know, that's just, you don't want to help your guy down the street, but you would help the guy across the river, kind of, per se.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that
go down towards the city.
I'm sure that some people who don't have access to that equipment, that if it was available to them, that they might take advantage of that.
I know a guy has a grapple truck in Philadelphia, and he'll go out and he charges $2,800 for 4 hours. And
wow.
Some jobs he gets done in 2 hours. He still gets $2,800, and it's just those trees that are in sticky areas.
Right.
And then sometimes he does $10,000 days.
Wow.
It's just, you got to get in with like those big franchise companies like Bartlett, Davy Tree, some of those big companies that the good tree slayers don't want to work for those big companies because they got good benefits and good 401k, but they don't pay very good.
Right.
Those guys want to not really have their own business. They want to go out and make $300 or $400 a day. And what they do for retirement and health insurance, I guess maybe their wife or something carries that stuff.
Matt Weimer says, do you do your own quotes or do you have another employee do it? And how many employees do you have?
I got 9 employees. I used to have a sales guy, but he was either too high or too low. And the numbers weren't adding up, but I do all my quotes.
Yeah, Chaz does all his own quotes.
I do have a guy that drives me around.
Yeah, he has a guy that drives him. I think he's trying to absorb some of the things that Chaz does. He's got 9 employees. He runs 2 crews that stay busy all the time on big jobs. Sometimes he'll combine the 2 crews on a big job and get done in one day what a lot of guys would take 2, 3, 4 days to do.
Someday, like $1,000 job, you line 6 or 7 of them up in a day. I mean, you got to think. I mean, you're pulling on a job with $500,000 worth of equipment.
Right.
I mean, $1,000 job won't take us that long. Where the guy's got a little 12-inch chipper and a little 55-foot bucket truck and he's pulling in. It take him
most of the day.
Of a day to do it. It's just we're set up different.
Yeah, I've talked to Chaz a lot about how he quotes jobs, and I think as the owner of the company, unless you have somebody that has a lot of experience and can look at a job and see what needs to be done, what equipment you're going to need, what hazards might exist. If there's a unique situation that you might not, the average guy like me, if I went and looked at a job, I'd be like, okay, yeah, we need to drop that tree, but Chaz will show up there and he'll be like, okay, well, we're going to need this, we're going to need that. And all that comes into play when you're pricing a job. So, like he said, the guy that used to do it for him, sometimes he was too high, which isn't good. And sometimes he was too low, which really isn't good.
Right now I'm running an average of 8 to 9 estimates a day.
8 to 9 estimates a day is what he's got going on right now.
And I'm landing about 90% of the work. And there's some people, you'll drive past their house 3 or 4 months later and you just remember being there. You look over and the tree's still standing there. And then a year later, they call the office and say, oh, I got this quote last year, and they expect us to remember it. And then next thing you know, I'm going back out to look at it. And when I get back out to look at it, most of the time I remember how much I told them.
Yeah, so October 6th through 8th is Paul Bunyan. Timon just put in there. So it's the first full weekend in October. If you saw me giggling there a couple seconds ago, it's because I just read this question I'm getting ready to throw up here from Obi. How do you handle poison ivy, etc.? And do you prep ahead, or what is your plan of action? And let me just forewarn you before he answers this question that I do not endorse this. I have not done this. I will not do this.
I don't catch poison ivy.
What do you do to prevent from getting poison ivy?
I caught poison ivy up until about the age of 16. I used to have bubbles up and down my arms, scratching. My grandfather, he's dead and gone now, but I did a lot of hunting with him, just coon hunting with him. And one night we were out hunting, and he says, you know the best way to stop catching poison ivy? I said, what? He said, chew on this. He didn't tell me what it was. I was young, couldn't tell. And I was eating poison ivy, chewing on it.
So you remember recently when I had my really bad bout with poison ivy, my eyes were swelled shut, and I've gotten it all my life really bad. It's the first time I've had it in my eyes like that. But Chaz told me, he was like, you know what you need to do? You need to eat it. And I told him he's crazy, that I would probably get in my lungs or in my airway. I would swell up and you'd be coming to my funeral. So do not take his advice. He says he ate it and now he doesn't get it anymore. I'm thinking that's probably just a coincidence. He probably grew out of it, because some people do grow out of that allergy. But I will not be eating poison ivy to try to get over it. I will go to the doctor and get my steroids and just deal with it.
Listen, I haven't caught poison ivy since I was 18 years old, and I've worked in it.
I know
not even poison oak.
And
they say it's just like they give you these flu shots. My grandfather said it's just like a flu shot. You're putting it in your immune system.
Right. I kind of get that.
And
theory.
He said that it won't do nothing because the inside of your body is much different than the outside of your body. So it worked for me. One day you drink enough of that apple pie moonshine, we're gonna make you eat some poison ivy.
No, that's not gonna happen. Jack wants to know, have you ever thought about starting a YouTube channel for your company?
I'm not smart enough to do all this stuff to keep up with it.
Well, it would slow you down.
Yeah, I'm just Brad's YouTube supports Blandford's tree service, and
That's
I'll
right.
let him prosper off of it. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think it would be cool if he did it. But you pretty much, you know how it is. You got to have somebody kind of devoted to getting the camera angles and doing the recording. And I mean, it slows you down for sure. It slows me down doing firewood, but I do it because I enjoy it and I like the interaction with you all. And it's even though it's turned into a small business, kind of, it's still a hobby for me.
If you had a full-time job or retired, you wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you do what you do.
It's,
All the practices, baseball, and the firewood coming to get the wood, working your part-time job. I mean, you don't have much time either. And now you're putting floors in your house this weekend.
I am.
I didn't even know he was redoing his house until his house was tore apart.
Yeah, we're sleeping in the living room right now because I've got my whole bedroom tore apart. Val has wanted the bedroom redone for a while, so we're new furniture, new flooring, repainting. It's I'm pretty much moving all the time, but I don't like to sit still, so it's okay. It's not work if you enjoy doing what you're doing. I enjoy the firewood, I enjoy the YouTube, I enjoy our friendship and our relationship we have. So it's not I don't look at it as a negative thing.
There's a lot of people, I tell you, that try to move in. You'll see them on Facebook, and I always tell them,
Yeah, I got a guy. People trying to get wood from my tree guy. I'm not a. I used to be a. What's the word? I used to be a confrontational person when I'm my younger days. I'm no longer confrontational, but if you want to get under my skin, that'd be a good way to do it, I think. There's Saul Surgeon. Ted, how are you, buddy? Hello, Brad and company on the road home
hey,
from Joe's Premium Firewood. Can it be covered drying lot? Well, I'm glad you got the Easton Made Ultra back to him. I know he missed it for sure. So I'm glad you stopped by here, Ted. And I'm sure Joe appreciates all the help that you give him with his equipment there. Question from Dave Watkins. Brad, I have a Wood-Mizer LT35 HD and have found that firewood is a nice byproduct of the tree service wood. Do I entertain adding additional tree service guys or stay with the one? Well, I guess it depends on how busy your tree service guy is. I tried dealing with another tree service before I got hooked up with Chaz. It was very short-lived, but he is so busy and he keeps me adequately supplied, if not overloaded sometimes.
What do you mean you ran out? You were supposed to be out before.
Well, I ran out after the fellowship because everybody came and cut, split, and stacked everything in the yard that day. And it was in the middle of winter, which is a little bit slower season for you. So I was a little bit panicked that I didn't have any wood laying in the yard. But that didn't last long. He loaded me up there.
About 2 weeks later,
Yeah.
you had
I was like, whoa, hold up. But I would say
go with the largest company that you can find in your area and just go out there. I mean, I sort of knew Brad before he got into firewood business, and you may not know them guys, but sort of.
He knew me because I pulled him over a long time ago.
He did. And go out there and just tell them guys, say, hey, I'm going to come out and show you that I'm serious. You know, don't be afraid to bug them at first a little bit. Tell them so they show you're serious. Show up with your dump trailer, you know, that kind of stuff. Just start a relationship. I mean, it's, and then they'll always be in your mind. You know what I mean? Once in a while, you might have to take something a little bit ugly. I'm not saying load your trailer up with all ugly stuff. Don't do that to yourself. But you got to sort of get in their pocket as far as, help them, help support them. Social media, you find that guy, social media, Facebook. I mean, everybody's got Facebook. Somebody recommend a tree service. Put that guy's name right out there all the time. Just keep it on. Share his company. Show him that you're serious. And pretty soon it would be more than just a business relationship. You guys will be doing all kinds of stuff together.
Yeah. So if the guy you have now is keeping you supplied adequately enough for you, then I would stick with him if you've got a good relationship. If it's kind of hit and miss, then and there's somebody else that you might want to work with, you can explore that. But I mean, I'm pretty much
But
dedicated.
if the guy's an asshole, don't deal with it. Even if he's got a big business, that means he's for himself.
Yeah, I will say that about Chaz. I mean, he is not just a good businessman; he's a good human.
The best way to make a relationship with somebody, I mean, people in business don't have time to go out and make friends. It usually draws through the business.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not because you're helping me. If you got out of firewood tomorrow,
We'd still be
we would
friends.
still be friends.
Yep.
So you have to build up to that. So you just have to you got to earn. I mean, you both are interviewing each other. It's really an interview for a while. You build trust. When they call, like some jobs change, they get cancellation on a job. They're going to call you that morning and say, "Hey, are you available, or do I need to gear up to do this? This job popped in." And if you're retired, you can make it work. But if you're working a full-time job, and that may not be as steady as what they need as far as doing things.
Yeah, so I think I touched on that in the video I did a while back about how to establish a relationship with a tree service. And I did that video basically on the things that I've learned. I didn't know what I was doing when we started doing this. I've kind of learned along the way. But like Chaz just said, in the beginning, you're feeling each other out, and you're either going to click with each other or you're not. And if you're not, if you feel like you're not clicking with each other on one side or the other, then maybe it might be a good time to look elsewhere.
And when you're building this relationship, just offer your service as far as coming out with your truck and trailer to get the wood. Don't offer to bring your chainsaw and help cut them up. Don't offer all that stuff, because when you start that, and then after you've been a while and then you stop doing that, then they're going to expect that, and then they're going to think you're changing. So just show up and say, "Hey, load me up." But also stick to your guns. Every tree guy wants to give you the ugliest piece of crap wood there is. Don't build yourself up with junk. Everything you haul into your wood yard has to make you money. Everything I do out there makes me money. If it's a big piece of crap, I got a place in a truck to haul all that stuff too. You got to, at that point, that guy's thinking about himself.
It's not just a relationship that I have with Chaz either. It's a relationship that I've developed with his crews, especially the foremen on his crews, the guys that are climbing, the guys that are in the buckets, the guy that are in charge. They now know what I like. They now know if what their job is that day is what I'm looking for, or what I don't want. And they call me directly. Chaz doesn't tell me that this is the job they're on. The foreman of that crew that day actually calls me or sends me a text message and says, "Hey, Brad, I've got some oak today. It's pretty good stuff. It's straight.
I give you a little heads up sometimes.
It's this size diameter." But it's not just with Chaz, it's with the guys too. And when I show up on the job, if they're not ready to load me yet, I throw the gloves on and I drag some brush. I'll help rake or do whatever it takes to help them expedite their job. And I'm sure they're looking at me thinking he's not even on the payroll, but we're going to get done maybe 10, 15 minutes earlier today because he's jumping in and lending a hand.
Last Friday when he went out to that job, and he called me and said, "The top of this tree's about chipped up." If I could have reached through that phone.
I don't think they knew I was coming right away though, did they?
No, but the top of that tree shouldn't have been all chipped up.
Well, they were working.
So it was raining. They were just trying to get rid of the wood out of the road. We were set up in the road. The whole road was shut down.
Yep.
Those people were turning around going out the other way. And they just had to get it done. There was nowhere to put the wood. So when you run a 21, 31-inch chipper,
they can chip a lot of good firewood.
Listen, and it will. I mean,
a lot of the stuff that I take off the jobs is stuff that he would chip if I wasn't there. Am I right or wrong? Yep. Camp's Corner. The show in New York is in Boonville. I think Jeff put in there August 18th through 20th. It's the Woodsman's Days, and it is similar to Paul Bunyan from what I gather, except it's upstate New York, but it's more geared towards the firewood guy. Paul Bunyan is kind of everything. It's firewood, it's arborists, it's loggers, it's, you know, a good mix of everything timber related. But this show in New York is pretty much exclusive to the firewood guy. I've never been to it, but if you can make it, I'd love to meet you. Jack says I need to fill my yard faster so he can buy wood from my tree guy. Well, we might as well start talking about this right now.
What do you mean?
Let me throw something.
Your wood log yard up. What's that mean?
He lives in Carpenter's Point, and he does some firewood too. He's a good buddy of mine. He has been over and helped me out a little bit. He's got an Easton-made splitter as well. But let me throw this up here real quick, and we'll start talking about this. If I still have it. Yep, I do. So we talked about this on the last live stream. And this is Chaz's newest acquisition. And we went to North Carolina together to check this truck out and to look at it. We test drove it. Tires were good. Steering components were good. Brakes were good. It ran good. I ran the grapple. Chaz ran the grapple. It's a dump. It has a dump body on it. And this is going to be something that's going to be awesome for you. And it's certainly going to help me out as well. It's a CDL truck, which I'm a CDL driver, so I'll be able to operate this for Chaz on his jobs. Our plan is that when his crews go out, I know I'm getting way far behind on the chat, but we'll get caught up. This is kind of a long story. But when his crews go out, if they've got multiple jobs that day, they can chip the tops, chip the small stuff, and the logs that need to go to the mill or the firewood logs that I'm going to be getting. They can set at the end of the driveway. And if I can't get there while they're on that particular job, they'll just tell the customer that somebody will be by shortly to pick up the logs. I arrive in this truck, pick up the logs, take them to the mill, take them to my yard, whatever the plan is. But we'll also be able to help other companies out if they need the services of the grapple truck. Some demolition stuff. There's been a couple people that have called Chaz to, tear down old shacks or garages or whatever on their property if they're clearing property. It'll be useful for that. So long story short, as I can make it, we decided to get
toast real quick.
Let's have a toast to that because it's going to make us money. It's costing us money up front, but it's going to make him money. I promise. And we've got a deal where he's not paying me to operate this thing, but I have access to this truck if I need it.
It'll be parked at your house.
It's going to be parked at the wood yard most likely. But long story short, we flew back to North Carolina to pick the truck up. We went over it. We ran the grapple once again. Everything seemed good. We started up the road from North Carolina. Chaz was following behind me on a rental vehicle because we flew down and landed in Charlotte. We made it 100 miles in and the air pressure started dropping. So we pulled over to the side and found that a pancake, which is like a rubber gasket type thing that's inside the air brake chamber, had ruptured. We were blowing air out of the brake chamber. So
it's raining. It's
pouring down rain. I'm laying under the truck. Chaz is under the truck with me. We don't have tools with us, so we have to drive off the interstate to go find some tools. We come back with tools.
Still don't.
Yeah. So what you do when you have that type of situation, you can put a bolt inside the air brake chamber and you can back the brake off manually. Use a pair of ice grips to pinch off the air line to stop your air leak to get you going on the road again. So that was a fiasco that I won't get into all the details of that, but we finally made that work. We got the brakes released. We started up the road. That was 100 miles in when that happened. We get back on the road. Things are going good, coming through the mountains in Virginia and coming down a hill. And all of a sudden, I just hear all hell broke loose under the hood. I actually thought the drive shaft flew out of the truck. I immediately pushed the clutch in, turned the key off, drifted to the shoulder. Chaz pulled in behind me, got out and said, "What was that?" I said, did anything come out from under the truck? I think the drive shaft came out or something. He's like, no, I didn't see anything. I look under the truck and there's a huge puddle of oil. We shot a rod right through the bottom of the block. Tough day for us. Still pouring down rain. We've already had one breakdown. Now we have a catastrophic failure with the truck. End up getting the tow truck out there. We tow it off the highway, get it to a local truck stop area, which is nearby to the tow lot.
2 to 3 miles up the road.
Yep, just 2 to 3 miles that we towed it to.
$450.
Had a tow bill, and end up coming home. I jump in the passenger seat of the rental car, and we end up driving home without the truck. Still 380 miles away from home. So that was a tough day. That was a emotional draining day, a mentally draining day.
I slept that night without waking up once and overslept at 7:30.
You were just exhausted, mentally exhausted, I'm sure. But anyway, the truck sat there for a couple of days while we decided, or a week, while we decided what the plan was going to be, if we were going to have it fixed down there or bring it home and have it fixed up here. While it was sitting there, somebody siphoned all the fuel out of the truck, where it was sitting behind the truck stop there. So the daggers just kept on hitting, and the truck, to keep the story moving here, the truck is now home. The truck is back up here nearby, and we're exploring what we're going to do as far as a motor goes, whether we're going to put a used motor in it, a rebuilt motor, or a brand new motor.
We'll know Monday.
We'll know Monday. But regardless, it's Chaz handled it extremely well. I was stressed out, obviously, because I was driving the truck, and I felt absolutely horrible. The motor wasn't knocking. The motor had no sign of any problem, before or during. I think
the truck did a lot of sitting because it only had 60,000 miles on it. It was a 2005.
Yeah.
So I think, it wasn't used to all that going up the highway, that kind of stuff. And the bearings, doing their thing, and next thing you know, you throw a rod.
So I asked Chaz, I was like, how do you deal with this kind of thing? Like, how are you so calm? How are you not just like throwing your hands up, throw the towel in, whatever you want to say? And Chaz said something. You know how people say things? My dad said things to me in life that have stuck with me for a long time. I've had some mentors in my life that have said things to me that have stuck with me for life. But Chaz said something to me that day that I think is going to be one of those things that hang around with me for probably the rest of my life. And he said, it's just another wave. Waves come and waves go, and it's just another wave that we have to get through. As long as the waves don't come consecutively back to back to back, we get through it. So I thought that was an awesome way to look at it. I think I kind of learned something from him there. And it's awesome that he's able to deal with things like that. I know it hurts him.
It does. Don't get me wrong. We all want everything to go perfect, but
yep.
Let me tell you how to be successful, to have troubles. Figure out how to get through your troubles, make yourself a fighter, you'll become successful. When you give up, when the first hard thing happens, you don't become successful.
Yeah. You
got to face challenges, and you got to be able to make adjustments in your life. And you're going to fail, but that's the only way to get strong.
Well, he made it happen. I think I got really lost in the chat here, so I'm trying to figure out where we were. But anyway, that's the deal with the truck, and it's going to make us money when the truck is fixed and it's back on the road. It's definitely going to be a awesome thing for him, and it's going to help me out as well. But that is the news that was not good. Matt Weimer has a question. He said, what's the perk for Chaz to give you the wood, Brad, versus taking it to the dump or elsewhere, like a mulch place? I'll answer what I know about this, and then maybe he can add on to it. Most companies that dump somewhere have to pay to dump. Like if you take stuff to the landfill, you pay by your weight. You weigh in on your way into the dump, and you weigh out, and they calculate the difference in weight, and you pay by weight. He's got to get rid of that. It's not productive for him to try to do so. When he arrives to a job, he wants to do the job, get rid of the wood, and go on to the next job. To me, it's a lot more attractive to get the wood than it is for him. He sees it all day, every day. There are mulch places that will take it for free, but a lot of times it's not nearby to his job. It's not convenient. It's going to take up time, fuel, and manpower for him.
If I have to haul the wood off the job, it's going to the closest person with a wood furnace.
Yeah.
Outdoor wood furnace.
So if he's got somebody close, that's where he wants to take it. If he doesn't have anybody that will take it or isn't close by, then he's got to either pay to get rid of it or haul it a long distance, which takes time and money.
Volume. It's not like, $1,000 job to me is going to be a $2,000 job to the next guy. It's just, I'm in $1,000 job in 2 hours or less and I'm gone, but I'm set up. I'm pulling in with a lot of artillery, where these other guys will spend half a day, 3/4 day on a $1,000 job, the same job that we're going to do and do the same job.
And that wood that he may have to take somewhere 15, 20 miles away, that's going to take one of his guys away. It's going to burn fuel in his vehicles and take time away from their job. In exchange for that, I'm showing up on my time, my fuel, with my equipment, and I'm getting the wood away from him.
And Brad, he can come get our dump truck anytime and haul it that way too. It ain't just like, when you build that kind of relationship, they ought to trust you. If they trust you to come get the wood, they'll trust you to drive their truck.
What's up, Taylor? You want to join in over here? We haven't talked about you yet. Taylor just got home from the softball game she was watching, so I guess it's a good time to talk to her. Everybody say hello to Taylor.
Hi.
I'm way behind in the chat, so I'll be seeing all the hellos
You're
here
not here to keep us on track.
in a little bit. Taylor, do you want to tell them what's going on?
So I'm out for my softball season because I have an elbow injury, and I am in physical therapy 2 times a week for it.
So she was in Virginia Beach. If you remember a couple of videos ago, I talked to you about Taylor and Val being down in Virginia Beach for a softball tournament. She was playing with the 16 team, and they actually pulled her up to play with the 18-year-old team as well, which is awesome. She was up to the plate to bat. She had a low inside pitch that she pulled down the third baseline for a double. She got to second base and was in extreme pain in her elbow, to the point where she said she couldn't play anymore, which blew my mind. When she called me and said that she couldn't play, I knew that it was something serious, because she's a pretty tough cookie. And if she could have played through the pain, she certainly would have. So we ended up taking her to
That's after we just got over the knee situation.
Yep, an orthopedic doctor who diagnosed her, and we were fearful that she had torn her UCL, which is Tommy John surgery. But fortunately, it was not that. She has some inflammation. She has some fluid in her elbow. She has a tendon and a ligament that are basically rubbing on each other and irritating each other. So she's in physical therapy. She's going to have a physical trainer here coming up, but she's been put out for 8 to 10 weeks, which would have been the end of the rest of her softball season. But the good news out of that was that she was still going to be able to play volleyball in the fall. She was devastated. The doctor asked her at our orthopedic appointment how important softball was to her. And she said, very important, with a tear in her eye, which broke my heart. And but progress is going very well, and she may be able to play in Myrtle Beach at the end of July. So she is progressing a little quicker than we thought she would. And so things are looking up, and her spirits are good. She's still going and watching her team play and staying a part of everything. I know we're kind of going into overtime here. It's going to take a little while to get through some of the things we need to talk about, but I hope you all stick around. So that's the deal with Taylor. So give her your well wishes, and hopefully she'll have a speedy recovery and be back on the field here real soon. How was the game you were at tonight?
Good. Rising Sun lost. It was 14-1.
Oh, wow. We got a super chat here from Jack at Log Cabin Firewood. Tip them back and cheers to chasing bourbon with beers. Well, I can't agree with that, Jack. I don't chase, but if you need to chase, you go right ahead, buddy. Thank you so much for the super chat. You don't have to do that, but I certainly appreciate it.
Yeah, that's the first one all night.
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes it's like that. Lucas Lawn Care Services, how's the mobile firewood stand coming along? Look forward to seeing the vid. You're going to see the final video for that this coming Wednesday. I'm finishing it up here soon. Tomorrow, I'm going to finish it up and have it out there for the 4th of July weekend. With the rain, I couldn't take a whole lot of video. I was working in between raindrops and actually in the rain a little bit to get it done. The stand is sold out twice this week, the current stand. So I'm really anxious to get that bigger stand out there so that we can
tell them I was down in the wood yard for you.
Yeah, so Chaz stopped by to get some campfire bundles a couple weeks ago, and he was on his way to the campground, and somebody stopped by to buy some, and he had wiped the stand out, so he ended up walking down in the yard, and
I called you about 5 times.
I was cutting grass and I didn't hear the phone ring, but he called me. I called him later on after I got done cutting grass. He said, yeah, somebody came to get bundles, but I had taken them all. So I walked him down in the yard and I told him $1 per piece. He said, I saw the oak, I saw the locust. I knew he didn't want that. So I found some maple and I sold him some maple for $1 a piece. And the guy was happy. So he said, I hope that was okay. And I said, that was fantastic. He sold it for a little more than I would have sold it for. So that's the business.
And then the guy's calling for a job.
Yeah, and then he called me wanting to know if he could have a job, but I'm just a hobbyist. I say that all the time. I'm just a hobbyist. Joe's Firewood Videos has a question. Chaz, when are you going to teach Brad how to fell a tree? Start with something easy like 80-foot oak, 2-foot diameter between a house and power lines.
I'm not going to teach Brad how to do that.
I have really no interest in learning how to do that.
I let Brad pick. Brad's around to pick stuff up.
That's right.
I'm not going to let him drop nothing.
You'd be surprised how many people call me or message me and say, hey, I got a couple dead oak trees in my yard. You can have the firewood if you want to come cut them down. And I always tell them, I said, I'm not in the business of dropping trees, but I do have a guy that I can recommend that will do an awesome job for you. And when he gets them down, I will certainly take the firewood if you'd like his number. So that's not my business.
Most of them people like that are usually ones that
are looking.
It's a shame.
They don't want to spend the money.
They don't want to spend the money, or they just don't have it.
Yeah, either way. But I'm certainly not going to drop trees for people when I have a relationship like this with the tree service. Somebody needs a tree dropped. I'm not their guy. That's their guy.
When I met Brad, he had a little tiny wood splitter.
Yeah, county line.
And I hate firewood. I hated doing it. You got to haul it in. You got to cut it up. You got to pick it up. You got to split it. You got to throw it in a pile. It's got to sit there for months. Do it. Then you got to load it back up, and then you got to take it, deliver it for $200. Well, let Brad. Back then it was $200. Let Brad take care of that market. I make more money getting tree work done.
Yeah, for sure. And he did that when he was starting out with his business, and he would do it to keep
a $5,000 splitter for pennies, just about.
Yep.
Just to get it out of there and build a relationship.
Yeah, so he would do firewood in the winter a little bit to keep his guys working through the winter. You know, when work would slow up a little bit, he'd have something for him to do. But he wanted out of it. He gave me a deal on that ram splitter, and that's how I ended up with that. That ram splitter will be coming up for sale here maybe in the fall because I'm going to be upgrading.
Maybe you ought to do like 50-50 tickets.
I don't know what I'll do. I haven't
like a bunch of people buy tickets on here. Everybody pitched in $10-15 for a ticket. How many people you have?
I haven't figured out what I'm going to do yet, but I'm definitely going to do something with it because I'm going to upgrade. Oh, we're still here. I'm going to upgrade that resplitter. Well, what I'm using as a resplitter, I'm going to upgrade it for something. We're going to give these shirts away here now. I'm going to get this link for this video, and we're going to put it in a random comment generator. As soon as I can pull this up here, I'll share my screen. For anybody who commented on yesterday's video, we'll pull. If you haven't done that, jump over there and comment on yesterday's video, because
Get their sizes, because if they're not the right size, I can.
Oh, you're going to exchange them?
Well, I mean, I think I have all. I think I had medium, large, and extra large.
All right. I know I'm way behind on the chat, everybody, but this is running a little long. We got Chaz here. We got some giveaways. I'm going to share my screen. Let me find which window I need here.
When you build a relationship with a tree company, don't show up with a pickup truck. Make sure they have something to load you, and make sure you have at least a dump trailer.
Well, when I started out, I was borrowing a dump trailer, remember?
Oh, I remember first job I was doing that clearing job over there by the sale barn.
Yep. All right. We have got the random comment generator picked up here. I should be sharing my screen. We're filtering duplicate users. We will filter, number of winners 1. We have to do the math problem here, and we will get YouTube comments. I think I know how to do this still. It's been a while. We'll start the raffle and pick a winner. Outdoors with Larry and Robin. Hello, Brad. Finally have sunshine here. It's amazing in our retirement. We work harder. Ain't that true? That is the truth. I definitely work harder now. Nice load of wood. Thumbs up from them. So Larry and Robin, you are the winner of a shirt. Send me an email to firewood@thefurnace@gmail.com. I'll throw it up here on the screen so you can see what it is. And
Is Larry an orange kind of guy, a blue kind of guy, or?
Yeah, let us know what color shirt you want as well. We've got orange, green, and blue. So when you send that email, let me know what color and what size. We'll get you fixed up. And we're going to pick another winner. We've got 3 to give away. The next winner is going to be Jimmy Burley. Not sure if he's here or not, but I'll get in touch with him. You don't have to be on the live stream to win. He said you should hook up a solar trickle charger. Then all you have to do is pull out the panel when the trailer sits when you're loading into it for any reason. And I do have one of those solar powered chargers for the first trailer. I need to get a second one so I can have one on both trailers. So I'll get in touch with him. Let me make sure I write these names down so that I don't forget who the winners are. And we got one more to give away. We'll do that now. And the third and final winner is Todd Pacheco. Brad, before you know it, you're going to be baking in the sun. He's talking about all the rain we've been having. So, Todd, you are a winner. I'm not sure if you're in the chat or not, but if you are, please jump in. If not, send an email to that address, firewood@thefurnace@gmail.com, and we'll get you hooked up. All right, let me get this off the screen here. Go back to the comments, and we'll get caught up. We still have the whiskey glass to give away, so if you didn't win one of those, you still got a chance to win something here before the end of the night. Trying to get figured out where I was in the chat.
This is a little bit of fun, man.
It is. It's fun every month. I'm telling you. All these great people. There's 123 people in the chat right now.
I'm not even a drinker, and I'm putting this stuff down.
I'm trying to figure out where I was. I see Rachel's here from Hardworking Man. Hardworking Man himself is here. Heath, good to see you. The chat jumped all the way ahead, and I was so far behind. I'm just trying to figure out where I was. Ontario Firewood Resource, Anthony. Finally, the stars aligned, and he is here. Good to see you, buddy. I hope you're still in here. I know I was way far behind in the chat, but it's good to see you. I'm just going to start here and figure out where we were. He said he has to rewatch this. He heard something about Steele versus Husqvarna on his way home.
Let's do it.
Chaz wants to do it.
And I'm a still guy, but I swear by them 395 XPs against them 880s.
Well, I'm going to have to see it to believe it. And we're going to do it at the fellowship
Get a
this year.
refill real quick.
All right. Dana Hassan wants to know what he did to get for me to pull you over back then. I remember because you told me. He had just gotten a brand new little dump truck, 1-ton dump truck, and he had picked. What were you hauling? Mulch or topsoil?
Topsoil.
He picked up a load of topsoil. He was going down the road, and in Maryland, you have to have your load covered with a tarp, and he didn't have it covered, which is why I pulled him over. I didn't remember that story, but he certainly did. Did I give you a ticket?
No.
I did not give him a ticket, so I was a nice guy to him that day.
You just told me that.
It must have been an educational session. I used to do that a lot. I mean, a lot of those guys, if they didn't know the rules, and I honestly believe that they didn't know, I would use it as a learning experience rather than to just hammer people.
That had to have been, what, 10, 12 years ago?
No, it was longer than that. That was probably
that
12, 15 years ago.
You had the black Silverado.
Yep.
And when I see that thing, and after that, I used to cringe. I'd be like,
I had an unmarked Chevy Silverado pickup truck that I used to drive around in. And once you got pulled over by that, you knew to look for it.
yeah.
Dave Watkins has a question for you, Chaz. He said that's what he's been doing, showing up on Saturdays and Sundays with his Kaufman, never saying no, working on getting them a spot to dump logs. I always take a saw for any loading issues. Yep. So, I mean, you got to work with them. And
don't let them take advantage of you. I'm telling you right now, it's so easy to get stuck in a situation. Don't take nothing that you don't want, because the next time
it'll
they're
be
going to
worse.
ask you why, and it's just going to grow from there. Once in a while, if you want to take a bone, you just tell them, I'll take it this time to help you out.
Beggars can't be choosers, especially in the beginning.
Well, there's no begging, because I get it, but show up with something reasonable to haul. Don't show up with a pickup truck and expect to cut this wood up and get them to pick it up and help you stack it in your truck. Show up and they'll load you with their loader and long length, and get in and get out. That's what it's about.
Yep. Oh, man. Todd's outside again. He's here with I'm sure he's got his White Claws with him tonight. He's a White Claw drinking fool. I'm just kidding. It's a running joke we have with him. But good to see you, Todd. I'm glad you're here, buddy. I think I already said hello to Rachel. It's good to see you. Hardworking Man, I'm just getting caught up to your question. It's Four Roses single barrel. That's what's in the glass tonight. And obviously we're over an hour in, so you might be able to tell. James has a question. Just careful where you park it at your place. Heavy trucks don't do well on the side. Yep, I'll be careful with that. It'll be parked at the end where I park the dump trailers, and we got some crusher run there at the end of the driveway. But it should work out really good. Hopefully we'll have an update.
I don't want nothing to do with it. I'm just going to pay for it. All right? I don't want to drive it. I don't want to do nothing. I know what his schedule is, and that's the way I'll set it up if it could possibly be that way.
We'll make it work. We definitely have not only a business relationship, but a personal relationship with each other. So I am not worried about, him taking advantage of me or me taking advantage of him. we both are looking out for the best interest of each other. I honestly believe that.
Well, if you look at it, take advantage of people, you have too much time on your hands.
Yep.
That's
Right.
just all there is to it.
Andy says a state trooper caging a break. Well, you got to do what you got to do. It was an
I
emergency.
come up with the idea. You ought to see it. The bolts were seized in there.
Well, the caging bolts were seized in the brake chamber.
So tell him we were trying to find a parts store. Tell him what I came up with the idea at the truck stop. I said, "Well, go ask
the truck drivers.
Go ask the truck drivers if they got. We'll take one out of their brake chamber, and we'll buy it." Well,
Turns out a truck driver had extra ones in his sleeper.
he said, "Well, absolutely. Well, what do I owe you? Nothing."
Yeah, I said, "What can we give you for it?" He said, "Nothing." So we got a cage and bolt, and yep, we caged the brake. We crimped off the airline, and down the road we went
To another problem.
to another problem. Man, I am way far behind. We're still talking about caging the brakes. Oh man, we got to get caught up here. I'm going to skip through unless I see a Q. So if you had a question and you didn't put a Q in front of it, just throw it back in there and I'll stop. Be willing. The mechanic who did its last safety inspection must have done that as a rush job on a Friday afternoon. Wow, what horrible luck for driving a commercial vehicle home. Well, I mean, I don't know if you would have been able to catch a motor problem like that. I mean, the motor wasn't making any noise. The truck seemed to run fine. It shifted fine. Everything checked out.
The only thing I didn't like about the situation is we went there. The guy parked the truck somewhere because he lived in a small area, and he didn't service the truck. You know, you could tell the oil was low. We drove it to the truck stop. We got antifreeze. We put oil in it. I was a little aggravated about that, but then it still ran good.
Yep.
And we went up the road. But the rule to it, what I've learned from it, which I won't do no more, I'm not buying nothing from anybody personally.
Private seller, yeah.
On Marketplace. Buy from a dealer.
Got some kind of warranty.
You know, because I paid $60,000 for this truck. It's going to cost me another $20,000 at least to fix it. So it's a wave. You just got to ride your waves out, and it is what it is. And guess what? Once the motor's blown, you can say whatever you want to help yourself cool off, but you still got to ride the wave. You're in it. You're involved. So
yeah, you just got to deal with it. And I guess the way you deal with things like that says a lot about, your character. I mean, it'd be really easy to throw in the towel and just give up, wouldn't it? That's easy. That's the easy way.
You know what I would have probably done when I was 20, 25 years old? I'd have probably burned it.
Lit the thing on fire and let it burn.
Call the insurance. No, I'm joking.
Brandon said, would that be a chuck and wood elbow? No, it's definitely she doesn't give herself a break. Taylor does not give herself a break. It's softball year round plus volleyball thrown into the middle of all that. And I think anybody, everybody's body needs time to recover at some point. So no, it is not her bundle cranking arm. That would be her right side, and she's a left-hand thrower. So it's not her bundle.
We can always put her on the other side so she can use her other arm.
Oh man, I'm just looking for cues here to get caught up. My wife Valerie is home from dinner. Maybe she'll stop in and say hello to everybody. I got the garage door open tonight because
That's nice.
Hardworking man. I can't give that away quite yet as to what my new resplitter is going to be, but I will tell you, it's one of those too.
What do you mean by resplitter?
When I sell the Ram splitter. Are you coming in, Val? You come say hello to everybody. When I sell the Ram splitter, I am going to get something a little faster to do my resplitting for bundlewood. And Jack, of course it is. Val's just getting home from dinner with a couple of her friends, and she's jumping in to say hello. Come over here in the middle. So Brandon says he's got $20 on an Axis. If we're taking bets now, I don't know who's handling that, but I'm not keeping track of it. All right. Did you have a good time?
I did, yeah. I got to put cheats on the back.
All right. I'll be in shortly.
All right, sounds good. Hi,
All right.
Hi.
So we're almost caught up here. Got a couple more things to get to. Outdoors with Larry and Robin. I see you're here. So I don't know if I missed what you said you wanted. Let me back up here a little bit and see. Just send me an email. I'm just getting caught up to the winners of the shirts. We still have the whiskey glass to give away, which we will certainly. Chaz is drinking out of one of them right now. How you like that glass, Chaz?
Tastes good. It's just perfect because you fill it up by the time you get to the bottom, the stuff's cooling off. So it's ready.
You mean warming up?
Yeah, warming up.
Yeah, Firewood Hut. The bundles are flying out of the wood yard for the 4th. I emptied my stand twice this week, and I've actually got a little bit of competition. A new competition across the road from me. He threw out some bundles this past week trying to sell them, and I know for a fact that they're wet. I see him splitting his wood, and I know when it was split, and I know that it's not dry. So there's my mama.
He's cutting him by $2.
Yeah, he's cutting me by $2, but they're smaller bundles.
Yeah.
There's my mom saying good evening to her son. Everyone say hello to my mom if you haven't already. There's Brad 6. It's good to see you, buddy. He just came in from cutting and splitting a cord. How's it going? Going well, my friend. I hope you're doing good, getting ready for this fall. I just passed a question, I think. Where was it? The chat jumped ahead there, so if I'm missing your question, throw it back in. There's WD, Mr. Will Davidson. You met Will on the job that day up by.
Oh, Big Will, come down from Pennsylvania.
No, he's from Southern Maryland.
Oh, that one's Southern Maryland.
Yep.
The young kid.
Yep.
He's from Maryland. I thought he was from
No, he's from Southern Maryland.
Hey, Will.
He said howdy to me and you, and hope you all had a wonderful evening. Hello to all, and thank you for the hellos.
Well, Will's come out on one of our jobs.
Yes, he's the one that came out to that job.
I made him take all the wood.
He loaded me up heavy that day. James, is Chaz going to be the official supplier of wood for the Fellowship 24? He's my exclusive wood supplier. Maybe he'll show up to the Fellowship this year. You were out of town last year.
Yeah. You got to give me that date ahead of time.
We haven't picked a date yet, but we will. We're going to have to figure out some logistics because last year it was a little overwhelming with the turnout. And if the turnout next year is the same or any bigger, we're going to have a different plan. But yes, Chaz is definitely the official supplier of Fellowship at the Furnace. Log cabin firewood. He said his wood sucks across the road.
Yeah. I had to take a picture when I saw it and send it to him. I said, what's this shit?
Frickin' Jeep wants to know what the lead time on the splitter is. Well, if I really don't want to give too much away here tonight, but somebody's in the chat that knows a lot more about it. The lead time on the splitter is at the mercy of its owner, of its current owner. So it is not in production, but I am at the mercy of its current owner. So if you're the person in the chat that I'm talking about that I'm at the mercy of, don't give any clues away. But I will tell you it's orange and blue. That's all I'm telling you. Will Davidson wants to know if Jack Quality controlled my competition across the road. I don't think Jack did, but I'm considering doing that on a video just to see what it is. And maybe it's good, but I'm pretty sure it's not. And
I think we ought to video the fire.
Yeah,
Put one next to each other.
that's right. He said they have firewood stands every few hundred yards in Michigan.
I
Everybody's
believe
selling
it.
firewood.
Wisconsin, they have the same thing. I went up there ice fishing last year, and they had firewood stands, but I don't know how you would even start a fire outside in that cold that I was in.
Well, I mean, Michigan and Wisconsin is where a lot of these this community is from. I mean,
A
it's
lot of pine trees up there.
firewood is big time out there. All right, Dave Watkins is heading out. He said good night, folks. Enjoy you all. Thanks, Dave, for being here. James, he's got an idea of what the next resplit machine might be. All right, so let me make sure that we've covered everything. Oh, I wanted to talk to you about the diet. On last month's live stream, I told you I was on the carnivore diet, which this bourbon is not on, but I make a special exception for the Thirsty Thursday live stream. But the carnivore diet is going pretty well for me so far. We are 5 weeks in, I think, 5.5 weeks in. I've lost 17 pounds, and I'm in a belt loop. And my current jeans, I don't know if this is too much information or not, but I can put on and take off without unbuttoning them. So the carnivore diet is going well. I'd like to lose another 15 to 20 pounds before I start introducing some other things back into my diet. But I just wanted to give you all an update on that. Things are going well. Hey, there's a super chat from my buddy Shibe. Tip them back, boys. Thank you, sir. Cheers. We're gonna get up there soon to you, Shibe. Me and Jack and
I heard that name a lot.
oh, he's a good guy, super guy.
Where's he at?
In Pennsylvania. Trying to think of the town. It's on the tip of my tongue.
You gotta tell my office ahead of time if you go up there and have to set up no estimates that day.
Yeah. But anyway, me, Jack, and Will are going to come up there one day, and we got to set up a day. So we got to figure it out. I know we talked about it recently, but it's going to happen. Tower City, Pennsylvania. That's it. My 10-quart order I wanted to update you on. I'm about halfway done filling that. The rain the past week and a half kind of slowed me down on my pace of a load a week. But we're going to get that filled before the end of August because my wintertime firewood orders start coming in and deliveries start in September. So I want to have all that done by the end of August. Porter's Adventures checking in. Hey, guys. I know you were splitting some wood last night or yesterday evening. He was up in my neck of the woods, sent me a text message. He was hoping I was at the yard, but I was working the part-time job yesterday. But Porter's Adventures, it's good to see you, buddy. Thanks for stopping in. And look who it is. Another super chat from the man himself, Dan Shifty from Back 40 Firewood. He said, I'm sorry I'm late. He just got back from yoga class. Hot yoga. Cheers, Woodhounds.
Is that like exercising?
Yeah, that's like mental therapy plus exercising.
Is that the guy who drinks White Claw?
No, that's Todd's outside again. That's Todd Lacey. Dan, glad you stopped by, buddy. I know I sent you a text message earlier about the recall on your drink mixing kit. Amazon sent me an email today about a recall that these things are apparently not safe. So if you are still using this to mix your Captain and Cokes with,
What?
yeah, this is how he mixes his drinks.
This is Captain Coke.
He fills up his glass with Coke and puts 2 to 3 drops of Captain Morgan into his glass.
Well, so
We've been.
he's-
I mean, it
he's
even
drinking-
says the back 40 official.
He's drinking Coke then. He's not drinking Captain Coke.
It's just a running joke we have with each other. He's a great guy too. But thanks for stopping by, Dan. I hope you and Amanda were in yoga class together. Maybe we can see you on a video soon in your yoga pants. Backyard Firewood with a super chat. Finish the glass. Carbs are bad. Carbs are bad. I don't know if I'm going to finish it at this moment, but we will finish it before we're done here this evening. Cheers.
Cheers.
You forgot to.
Well, we got to take another drink then.
All right. Tracy Christopher says she thinks you may need to spend the night. His wife is actually picking
We're
him
going
up.
to the beach. I still got 2.5 hour ride tonight.
Yeah, his camper is down at the beach. He's got a permanent site at a campground down near the ocean, and his wife is going to pick him up when we're done here, and he'll probably take a nice little nap on the way down the road. Thank you, Backyard Firewood. I appreciate the super chat. And Tracy, we will make sure he is well taken care of.
I didn't drive this time. Last time I was a little am I really driving home?
Richard Titcomb, how are you, buddy? I'm sorry if you were here earlier. I didn't see you, didn't acknowledge you, but welcome. He said the past 2 months he's taken 3 apple cider vinegar gummies a day, and he's lost 10 pounds with no change to his diet. How bad is your diet? Like, do you eat a lot of junk? Do you drink sodas? Do you eat a lot of snacks and sugar?
Well, damn, I think I'm going to order some apple cider. Now, does apple cider moonshine mix in with that?
I don't think that applies.
You know, you have some of that stuff.
I do have some right over there in the fridge. If you want to crack it open, go right ahead. What's mine is yours, buddy.
Well, you going to drink some with me?
Sure. Jack says he's got his tent ready for the trip to Shives. That's going to be an awesome day. That'll be a long day, I think. We might need a tent.
I was doing a day tent. I like the glamp.
He said with a nipple on his glass, Shifty, back 40 firewood, when he
Mhm.
puts the 3 drops of Captain Morgan in, he's still got to put a nipple on. Oh, I know one thing else I forgot. Jack, I know you're still here. Jeff and Patty sent a gift for you. Says, Jack, thank you for your support. Easton May Wood Splitters. That's for you, buddy. Next time I see you, that sticker's yours. They sent one for me as well. And I also got this Big Daddy. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do with it yet. I got to really think on this. Look at that monster.
We need to put one on the log truck. That would be boss.
That would be. How about if we put this on the grapple
Go
truck?
ahead.
Right on the back of the grapple truck, we'll put this.
Yeah.
And check out this message from Patty. Brad or Nate, Team Orange and Blue. So thank you, Jeff and Patty, for that. I hope you're still here to see that. I forgot to bring that up earlier. Dan said he put that dropper in the trash. So he's going to be mixing on the wing net. He's going to be winging it now. Hopefully he doesn't put too much in and can't get through an hour. Because we know on his live streams, hour and 10 minutes, that's about the end. If you get 10 minutes of overtime out of Dan, you've done really well. So if he's going to be mixing his own drinks, we may get an hour and a half out of him on a Friday night. Oh, gosh. Brandon said he can't do 6 drops anymore because now they're single use. Oh, there's Bud. Bud, how you doing? He said here in the eastern up of Michigan, within 10 miles of his location, there are 12 others selling bundles. 3 years ago, there was only one other. It has surely hurt his business. Well, I think, and I've told Chaz this in the past, that firewood guys, they come and they
Go.
Yep, they come and they go.
You know what? I would maybe do like a promotional giveaway. like every 15 bundles they buy, you make up some shirts or something, or you give them an incentive. Every 15 bundles they buy, you give them a shirt, give them a,
Couple extra bundles.
couple extra bundles, you know.
I think a lot of the guys that come and go, they see an opportunity for a quick buck.
A lot of kids out of high school or something like that.
Well,
might
they're
be
trying to,
jumping
yeah, they're
in.
trying to make some money, some pocket money.
Yeah.
But I think that if you just wait it out, I think it's kind of similar in the tree world. You see these tree guys pop up and they don't make it. They're here one year, they're gone the next.
A good sign of not a real strong tree service is they start advertising doing other type of occupations.
Yeah, somebody that's doing a little bit of everything.
Yeah, that's not a strong tree service. They still haven't found themselves.
Yeah, you got to specialize in something, right?
Exactly. And you got to run with that for at least, I'm going to tell you, 10 years. You got to run with it for 10 years in order to be successful. Now, after you're successful, then you could say, oh, I got a skid loader out there. I might use it 3 days a week. So you might want to do a little skid loader job, digging or something like that. But, these guys start advertising other things and doing other things. They're getting weak. They're trying to fill in.
Or they're not busy enough.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to fill the gaps in.
So, yeah. So I think you just kind of hang out, keep doing what you're doing, and keep having a quality product. Don't try to get ahead of yourself or put something out there that's not superior, because they will go away eventually. And the people that find your product will keep coming back. Matt Weimer says apple pie moonshine is the best. Well, there is the genuine artifact right there.
Brad made it in his basement.
No, I didn't make it.
Yeah.
This was a gift. Woo.
If you had sinus issues, it's about clear. I don't know why we.
Oh, that's good. That's real good. That goes down super easy. You won't have a problem with that at all. That'll hurt you. Log Cabin Firewood says, I must have missed something. He was going to crash the party tonight, but he stayed home instead. Thank you, Jeff and Patty. Jack, you should have jumped in the truck and rode over here. You could have certainly joined in here on this live stream. WD says, if we're going to PA and getting that lit, then yeah, I'm going to need a couch at least. Well, I'm sure Shad can hook you up with a couch. I'll bring an air mattress and a generator.
Well, when you get that lit, you really don't care about the couch.
No, you could sleep on a flight of steps.
I heard about Brad sleeping on steps before.
That was years ago. That was a young man. Obi says it's beginning to sound like a 4-hour marathon. Well, there's still 121 people in here. That's not 123 now, it says. So we'll go until we're below 100. That's kind of like my gauge. When people start dropping out and we get below 100, that's kind of when we start to try to wrap things up. But now we've got the moonshine out, and Chaz has got a 2.5-hour ride to the beach tonight.
I don't have to drive.
Nope, his wife's going to be doing the driving, and I do have to work at the wood yard tomorrow and get this firewood stand done and loaded up and ready to go. And I'll be making a video tomorrow for y'all to see on Wednesday. Oh gosh, Nick. He said he may have referred to me as Nate in today's video. I haven't checked out today's video yet there, Heath, but I will certainly do that. And I'm pretty sure at this point that if you say Nate, people will probably think about me. Thanks to Ram Splitter. Ram Splitter sent me a wedge, if you don't know this backstory.
You told me that they kept sending the wrong wedge.
They sent me the wrong wedge 3 times. They sent it to the wrong address 2 times, and they addressed it to Nate.
Let me tell you about my experience with Ram Splitter.
Here we go.
They had every excuse on why something was going. The boss himself built this splitter just for me. Bullshit. Well, anyway, I sent it to a guy up the road. Every time I lift that thing up to put
log
the log
left?
on, it went 100 mile an hour. It went down 100 mile an
It
hour.
still does. It'll punch you in the face if you're not careful.
Every time it went down, it would blow a hydraulic line. It kept hitting that elbow, that 90-degree hydraulic line.
The
I had to-
fitting?
the fitting. I had to send it up to Denny Wiggins right here in Calora. He's been doing small engine
He
repair. If you're local-
replumbed everything.
Yeah, if you're local, deal with Denny Wiggins. But I never had an issue other than the hydraulic filter would leak some
Still does.
after that.
Still does.
You could crank that thing on. You could go get a new one. It didn't matter what it was.
Just seeps. It doesn't leak. It just kind of wheezes.
Well, if it comes out, it leaks. But I split a lot of wood. There you get a lot of wasted wood out of it. I guess you do that with a lot of stuff. But firewood's just not in my blood anymore.
Well, you're a tree guy. That's why.
You know, when I used to sell a lot of wood and get my tree business up and going, I would split a load up and put it in my truck. Didn't even have it sold.
Just drive around.
I would drive around. Everybody with a chimney, I'm knocking on their door. As
Really?
the day went, it got cheaper
Yeah.
because I didn't want to load it for free.
Log cabin firewood. My buddy Jack. I didn't see the conversation that led up to this comment, but I know what it's about. And apparently at the hotel, there's a pool. And Jeff, who we talked about earlier, that said he could be a jockey. I told you he was bigger than me.
Yeah.
He's a lot bigger than me.
Right?
And apparently they're going to wear Speedos and jump in the pool. I'm not going to be a part of that, but if you're going to Boonville,
It sounds like he needs to get on this carnivore diet.
Jeff's a great guy, man. I'm telling you what.
Good people need to get healthy too.
Every single person in this chat tonight is an awesome person. But if Jeff gets in a Speedo, Jack said he was going to as well. And if they get in a Speedo at the hotel and jump in the pool, it's definitely going to be on
Have you ever
YouTube.
met my buddy Adam?
Yeah.
All right. So Adam, he's my chauffeur guy. He drives so I can be on the phone, talk to my guys, answer the calls, everything. So I'm into horse racing. He said next time we're in a big stakes race, he's going to wear a trench coat with a Speedo under it. And when we get our picture taken in the winner's circle, he's going to open his trench coat up. And I'm holding him to it.
Oh, gosh. See, I'm not into that kind of stuff. I mean, I know it's all in good fun, but I can't get down with that.
I mean, I wouldn't go that way out of my way, but I think it's quite funny.
We're behind on the chat once again. Bill, this jar is not store-bought for sure. Just like your jar is not store-bought. And in New York, I will certainly take another jar. So bring one with you. I will compensate you accordingly.
Is that called bootlegging?
No, that's back in the old days. Jack's sending me something on Facebook. I can't get to it right now. Rachel wants me to bring some of that moonshine to Boonville. Well, this apple pie was gifted to me at the fellowship day. And forgive me, but I can't remember who gifted it to me because I got about 8 bottles of bourbon, a bottle of clear from Mr. Bill Irwin, and this.
That clear stuff is hard, man.
This is really good. But I will bring some clear
Stuff will cure
to
poison
Boonville.
ivy.
Mr. Bill Irwin can certainly hook us up with some of that at Boonville. The hotel is going to be off the hook. Valerie and the kids are coming to Boonville as of right now. So if you're going to be going there, you'll get to meet Val and the kids. We'll have a great time. Paul Bunyan was awesome this year. It's going to be awesome again. Paul Bunyan was awesome last year. It's going to be awesome again this year. Kevin has a question for you, Chaz. Do you keep openings in your tree service schedule for emergency calls? That's a great question.
Pretty much everything gets rearranged around the emergency call.
So when storms come through, like storm damage definitely takes priority. Trees on houses, trees on garages,
trees on miles and miles of fence,
trees on miles and miles of horse fences with $1 million horses inside of it.
You experienced that last year.
Absolutely.
I worked at some horse farms last year for like 3 to 4 weeks at a time, the same
So
place.
obviously, because Chaz is in the horse business, he has a lot of people, a lot of contacts with horse people. And when we had a big storm come through last year that took out a lot of horse fence with some big money horses in the barns. So it was definitely a priority to get those trees off those fences, cleared out, chipped up, hauled out, fences repaired. So yes, when storm damage comes through, scheduled jobs get delayed, emergency responses get put up front. And all hands are on deck at that point. I mean, he had me with my trailer, my skid loader last year. I was opening up.
Hottest days of the summer, man.
He would send me out just to open up driveways for people so they could. People were out of electricity. Were running their generators. They needed to get out to get fuel for their generators so they could keep their house powered. I would go out just cut. I would go out with my skid loader, cut trees, open up driveways, move everything to the side, and move on to the next job. And then his crews would come in behind me to clean up everything else.
Brad's first job was in Turkey Point. Had about 10, 11 pine trees across the driveway, just opened them up. And I gave the guy I told Brad how much. I think he about had a heart attack when he had to tell the guy how much. And the guy didn't even squabble, did he?
No, I mean, it was emergency.
I mean, how long did that job take you?
You thought I was going to be there all day, and I ended up doing 2 jobs for you that day.
That first job was what I charge for a regular day rate for a crew now. I mean,
I went through, cut the logs on each side of the driveway, used my skid loader with the grapple, moved the logs off to the side, got his driveway open, used my blower, blew his driveway off, cleaned everything up, went to the next job.
Those guys, it's like customers like that feel like when they're blocked in and everybody's swamped,
You're handcuffed.
they feel like they lost their cell phone.
Yeah, you're handcuffed.
They will pay the money to have it open for convenience. So it's not like I don't take advantage of them because the insurance company's paying it. They know when you're taking advantage of them. But
No, but if you need me right now, it's going to cost.
it's going to cost
Yeah,
you.
because I'm pushing everybody else aside for you.
Yep. And you're taking a chance. So say if you had a $5,000 job set up that day, you're taking a chance on losing that job.
Right.
And upsetting them because A, they took off work, B, they're losing sleep at night because the tree's dangerous and they're going to get somebody else to do it. So no, you got to charge for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, but like most of the customers that have jobs scheduled, when a storm comes through like that and you call in and say, hey, we're going to be a day or 2 behind because of the storm, they understand that.
Sometimes when they know a big storm's coming, the weatherman will tell you, sometimes you put priority jobs 2 or 3 days ahead of time just because people know they got a risky tree next to their house. And they're like, I got to get this thing down before the storm comes because it's going to damage my house, my boat, whatever it may be. You make money getting that tree down. That, in the tree business, your everyday day rates, you just turn numbers. It's not like you're building up a huge bank account because the tree business is very expensive. Workman's comp could be 32%, and then you got fuel, you got everything. So when you got priority and people want you now, they're ready to pay the money now.
Well, they're desperate. They're at a point where it's an emergency.
Exactly.
And if you're gonna push other people aside, if you want to bump up on the list, I mean, it's just understandable. Dick, old guy Firewood, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. I see you're heading out. I'm looking forward to Boonville as well. Can't wait to see you again.
I'm gonna come to one of them.
You got to. You're gonna. Everybody knows who you are now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's awesome. Oh, Peyton's Firewood says he'd rather see Rachel in a cheeky bathing suit rather than two dudes in a Speedo.
Well, any woman in a
I
cheeky
can't
bathing
I
suit-
can't disagree with you.
I
I mean, no disrespect, Heath, but I'm just not into the dudes in the Speedos.
I don't think he'll wear a Speedo anyway. I think he just
No, I think they will. No, I really do. I think that's really going to happen. And it's going to be on YouTube, probably on multiple channels. Bill Irwin says, no need, buddy. What's mine is yours. So the moonshine in Boonville is going to be flowing. And I will tell you right now, you know, Eagle Rare is my favorite bourbon. I may not only have Eagle Rare for the night of Dan at Back 40 Firewood's live stream at Boonville, I may also have a bottle of Eagle Rare to give away that night. Mark that on your calendar. If you're coming to Boonville, there's going to be a giveaway of a bottle of Eagle Rare that night of the Back 40 Firewood live stream. Jeremy Funk is here. You know Jeremy.
Who's that guy?
He said, good evening, fellas. Good to get
I
together
just
again
seen
on the
your
live.
dad a couple weeks ago.
Jack from Log Cabin Firewood. He's good buddies with Jeremy too.
So he's local.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jack is out at Carpenter's Point.
You got to move into civilization. Carpenter's Point's pretty far out there.
Ah, my mom just said Rick gave me this jar of apple pie moonshine.
Don't be telling on people, Mom.
Well, I'm not saying where Rick got it,
Oh,
but this is where it came from, and this is absolutely amazing. You agree?
it's pretty good.
It's pretty easy going.
Yeah.
Rick, if you're with
Look
Rick,
at us. We got sunburn.
so the first couple live streams I did,
Uh-huh.
like I was pretty nervous and had some anxiety about it, obviously. And then when I look back on those, my face is so red because I was pretty lit.
Hey, Mom made some money a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah, she bet on crabs and beer.
Yeah.
I still got to pay her for that. It's still in my account. But anyway, Mom, if you're with Rick right now, tell him I need another jar of this for Boonville, New York, which is in August. I will share with everyone who's coming. Deb from the Mill says, Jack, keep up the good videos. That's Log Cabin Firewood, brand new channel. If you haven't subscribed to him, he's trying to get to 500 subscribers. He's very close. He's going to do a giveaway when he gets there. Check out his videos. Good buddy of mine, just getting started with YouTube. He's doing a great job. Good guy. Give him some love. So, Deb, I 100% agree with you. I'm just getting caught up here. Yeah, my mom says, Chaz, she calls it an apple picker. So my mom has an antenna on her roof that she wants to remove. So one weekend, Saturday or Sunday, we got to go over to the house and get that antenna off her roof. It's not a problem, Mom. I already told you it's not a problem. We're going to get it.
Now that I know about it, Mom, it'll get done. Give us 30 days. That's what I tell all my customers right now.
And we'll do it on a weekend when there's no other work going on. Oh, man. Heath and Rachel are lighting it up tonight. We went from yoga pants to thongs. If you're not booked up to, if you're not
apple pie,
if you're not booked up to be in Boonville, you might miss a show. We're getting late. Brandon, you did not miss trivia. It's still coming. You know, we always do that at the end of the live stream, and we're almost 2 hours in, this is a long one tonight, but we will get to that. I already know what the question's going to be. So stand by. That trivia question is coming. Jack, Jeremy Funk, he's saying hello. He didn't see you in here. We might as well get to that question right now. The trivia question for the night, now that I'm caught up on the chat. Yep, we're still at 123 people in the live
you ain't
stream.
below 100 yet.
Nope, we're not below 100 yet. Look how red Chaz's face is.
Well, you know, I'm a ginger. Have a
So
drink
let's get to the
that.
trivia question. Yeah, we'll drink to that. If you want some of this, just let me know.
I want some of that.
There you go. The trivia question for tonight comes from a video that was put out, I think, not this past Wednesday, but the Wednesday before. The question is, there's something new added to my truck, and I want to know what was added to my truck and be as detailed as possible. The first correct answer will win, but the more detailed, the better. That's the question for the whiskey glass tonight, which the Firewood at the Furnace engraved whiskey glass. If you can see it, let me see. It's a laser engraved Firewood at the Furnace whiskey glass. And boom! Oh, wow. There's a lot of correct answers here. Let me back up to see who the first one was.
All them came up just now.
Matthew Weimer, the toolbox from my dad's truck. You are the winner. I think you already have a whiskey glass, but
I
you
thought they were going to say ball joints and
oh no,
this,
the tires, the ball joints, the
but I
transmission
do
cooler.
remember the toolbox.
So, Matt, I know you already have a whiskey glass. You can either have another one of those. I can give you a beer mug or a set of shot glasses that are engraved. So you let me know what you want, buddy. But you are the first correct comment, Matthew Weimer. So a lot of correct guesses. Look at all those.
You got to get about 20 more whiskey glasses
I've got a bunch.
because social media.
It's big time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Matt wants a beer mug. It's yours, buddy. I'll send it to you this week. You'll have
Need a
it.
set of shot glass and whiskey glass.
I will have everything. I'll have whiskey glasses and shot glasses and beer mugs at Boonville for anybody who would like to have one.
I need to come to that.
Well,
It's in August.
It's in August. It's coming up. Yep.
Is that like a family vacation?
Well, as of right now, Val and the kids are coming. So but
So we can't drink a lot of apple pie moonshine.
yeah, we can. We're going to be in the hotel. The live stream on Friday night will be right from the hotel. The show is about a 40-minute drive, I
need to
think.
talk to Val about getting Shannon to go,
Well,
so that way I know we're good. But she won't want to, but I can. She might, because Val will be there.
yeah. But I'll have everything in Boonville, and I'll have everything in at Paul Bunyan again this year as well. But anyway, we are about 2 hours in. There's
How
still
many people?
117 people here.
Well, we
So
went down 6 since.
so we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna go until we're
Anybody
below
want any-
100.
Anybody else want any advice? I mean, I don't know if we sugarcoat it now that we had some.
Rachel
drinks.
says, James, have you met these guys? Nothing can temper them. Well, I can tell you this about this community, this Firewood community.
Yeah.
Everybody that's in this chat right now, 115 people, which there's a lot more than this. But every single person that's in this community or watching this live stream has a work ethic that is 100% American. Right? Because if you're afraid to get dirty or to work and get your hands involved in something, you're not watching
Well,
this
listen,
channel.
You're not doing firewood.
You're not watching this
If
channel.
you're not physical.
Yep. He said the guys up north will have an advantage. I missed something here. I want to know what this is about.
Advantage what? Drinking apple pie moonshine?
RG Productions wants a moonshine glass. Rick, you let me know what you need, and I will hook you up. Every single person in here has got a work ethic, unlike a lot of the how can I be correct about this? Unlike
They
a
just
lot
work
of
with
the new generation.
Yeah. I got a son I'm training.
Yeah.
I
So
understand.
Chaz's son just started working with the tree company this week, right? And we're trying to instill some work ethic, the value of $1, the appreciation you have for you work for what you have, right? And you appreciate what you have more when you have to work for it.
He's 8th grade going into 9th. So, and he's a pretty big boy, tall boy. He's not fat or anything, but mom lets him play a lot of video games. I mean, I'm not insulting her. I'm not. It's just what the day the world is. But
Yeah, but you limit him on that.
yeah, so I pay him a respectable wage. Consider where I started on a dairy farm.
So Brandon Hode said he's a dairy farmer.
Nice. We
So
need you.
I think you have to instill those values in people. So
Chaz, don't climb any trees tomorrow.
Tracy said, Chaz, don't climb any trees tomorrow.
Listen, I don't climb a whole lot anymore, but once in a while I'll do it to prove a point to get the crying out of the crew.
I saw him do that one day. He showed up on when Chaz shows up on a job. His crews are very good. His crews are great. Both crews he's got divided up into great people. And it's I will tell you that when Chaz shows up on the job, things do change gears a little bit. And one day there was kind of an iffy tree, right? It was kind of an iffy tree that had to be climbed.
Like this over the neighbor's shed.
Yep. And Chaz climbed, put on his spurs. What do you call them?
Spikes.
Put on his spikes, and climbed
another man's harness.
Use a different guy's harness. Climbed a tree in his tennis shoes. Topped the tree. Dropped the tree.
Had it down
10 minutes.
10 minutes, 20 minutes. I don't know.
10, 20 minutes.
I'm talking about an 80-foot white.
And his climbers and his crews were standing
and
there.
dropped the rest of the tree between sheds and the house.
Yeah. So I think it's a great thing both ways. I think to the guy, to Chaz, he was like, let's speed up the job. But to the guys, he was like, there's my boss helping out and getting it done. Right? So I think any job you're in, if you see your boss or your supervisor that gets their hands dirty and gets involved, you're like, okay, that's pretty cool, right? Like the guys, the owner.
It was 2:30 in the afternoon. They're looking at this 80-foot white oak, and they're like, "Oh, man, this job's going to take forever. We'll be 5:30, 6 o'clock before we're done." I already know what they're thinking.
Well, if you're not the owner of the company, you're probably a little bit more concerned about being meticulous and making sure everything's right, and you're looking at your wedge and your back cut, making sure the tree's going to drop where you want it. The owner comes in, he's just like, let's get it done. So things can go a little quicker for you because if something goes wrong, it's on you.
Yeah, but I've been doing this stuff since I was 16. I'm 42 years old, so I'm not going to act like I'm a know-it-all. I'm cocky. Every job's different. Some trees are hollow, some trees are soft, but I can evaluate a situation pretty fast.
Yeah, but
right now I'm a little intoxicated. I'll drink to that.
But to a guy that's working for you, he's being a little more cautious than you are.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we covered everything I wanted to cover tonight. I think we got a lot of questions in and a lot of knowledge from Chaz. He's still got a 2.5-hour ride to the beach tonight. He's camping out for the weekend down near the beach. Saul Surgeon, it's good to see you're still here. We're looking forward to Boonville. It's going to be in 6 weeks.
How many followers we have?
There's 106 in here right now.
Any more questions?
Chaz is, You're having a good time tonight, ain't you?
Yeah, I had a good time last time too, but I'm pretty apple pied up.
Well, we got 104 in here now, so we're not going to cut out yet because we promised you that we would stay until we were below 100. Chaz will get there tomorrow morning now. Chaz isn't driving, so he's going to get there when his wife says he's going to get here. WD, if you're heading out, have a great night, buddy. From Southern Maryland, laugh out loud. I mean, it's not
What
really
part of Southern Maryland?
It's not really Southern Maryland. It's kind of like
Baltimore City.
no, it's below that. But you know what I mean, Will. John Sinclair says it's still raining. I don't know where he is. James says we're at 107 and going up. We're at 104 now that I see.
Let's go up.
Well, we're watching the clock and it's at 104 right now. He's in Brookville. What county is that in? Will, what county are you in? I feel like you're like in Calvert County or St. Mary's County or somewhere in that area.
We ought to get some of these hardworking guys. They got to hunt. We ought to get a hunting we all meet somewhere. And
a lot of us hunt together. A lot of us hunt.
You know
we
what
do.
I mean? How about some duck hunting?
Montgomery County. He's in Montgomery County.
Okay. Get some duck hunting together or whatever.
He's in liberal country.
I'll bring the dog.
He's got a great hunting dog. Sage
and Goose.
Sage and Goose. That's a bird hunting dog though.
I got a dog that travels with me every day. She's 16 months old and she listens perfect. Chocolate Lab.
Camp's Corner said he would be down for some hunting.
We'll have to set this up.
Chaz has got some hookups with some hunting grounds.
Well, they might have their own hunting grounds. We can go to them.
Well,
I'll bring a grill. We'll cook some breakfast in the blind. Have some fellowship.
So we're doing some duck hunting then.
Yeah, let's do it. Oh, that way we all can't talk being in a deer stand.
Rachel's telling Jack good night. Sweet Speedo dreams. You're going if you don't go to New York.
You know what? We ought to get a Speedo. Firewood at the furnace.
I'm not wearing a Speedo.
No, we'll give it to that guy.
Who, Jack?
Yeah.
A Firewood at the Furnace Speedo?
Yeah.
He's got his own channel, Log Cabin Firewood.
That'd be too much to print.
Well, if you come to New York, you're going to see all this chaos and nonsense. It's awesome. It's fun. It's great fellowship, and it's off the hook. You get to see everything outside of YouTube. Will Davidson said, "You name the date, I'm there." He wants to go hunting with us.
Let's set up a trip where we all meet up and go out west on a big guided hunt.
And Shive says he'll come slay some deer. Shive's
we're going to drive them now.
Shive's a big deer hunter.
Yeah, we'll have to drive some deer now.
Shive's up in PA.
All right, he's up in Amish country, man. They'd start driving deer opening day. 9 o'clock in the morning.
Billy Bob's Woods said a deer walked through his yard tonight. He started drilling. We got deer right in the wood yard right now. My mom told me the other night there was some deer down there with some fawns.
We'll leave them guys, man.
Yeah, you definitely leave the fawns and the mamas alone.
I do have a size limit.
Brandon says he's got a question. I've got deer, duck, and geese plus fishing here in Western New York.
We're coming to your place.
Brandon?
New York sounds fun to me. I've never hunted New York.
Never been to New York.
I've been all over this country. The only time I've ever been to New York is New York City, and it was not very impressive.
Heath, a man's Speedo has a ring to it. Does that ring to you? It's not really ringing to me. But I will tell you that I will be there cheering everybody on. I just won't be participating. And Rachel slays deer too. That's Heath's wife.
Okay.
It sounds
As
like
long as she knows how to gut them and drag them, I'll be shooting them.
it sounds like we could have a whole drive.
Let's do it.
Like this is
I
not
mean,
gonna
we
this
could
is not
set-
gonna be a sit in the stand hunting event. This is gonna be a push.
Okay.
Saul Surgeon. This dude is a great dude. He says, Chaz, you've been a hoot. Thanks for having you on.
No problem. I'm gonna have to come a little bit more often.
You can come whenever you want. Colin Shaw. What's up, guys? First live stream, tuned in a bit late, about an hour ago. I'll add a whiskey glass onto my next wood of firewood, Brad. Colin, glad to have you, buddy. I know it's a little late. Things may be getting a little messy here, but
Hey, we need another drink of apple pie.
the last Thursday of every month is Thirsty Thursday, and we do this every month, one time a month. So please join us. You're welcome here anytime. It's a great community of people. And we talk firewood and we talk anything in between. As you can see, we're talking about hunting right now.
Let's get some people together and do some hunting.
Log cabin firewood. I have a
Duck
great
hunting,
idea for
absolutely.
log cabin firewood speedo with proper word placement. Log.
Yeah.
That's what he's talking about. Oh, gosh. Brandon says it's a great place to visit, but the politics suck.
Listen, politics suck everywhere.
I agree with that.
And there's only one politician that ever did anything for us. And that's just, I'm not mentioning their names because I'm real intoxicated. But we know who that is.
Well, we'll see what happens. There should be a shift here, hopefully in 2024. WD, Will Davidson, who you know.
Yeah, well, hey, Will.
From the big firewood load that we had to.
Yeah, Will.
The turbo.
Hey, Will, why aren't I Facebook friends with you? I thought I'd been there.
Got to send him a friend request, Will. He said he'll gut the deer. He just wants some meat.
Well, you got it. But you know what? I can gut them as long as you drag them.
Tim says you thinks you're pretty good right now, Chaz.
Thank you.
You see, you can pretty much see why Chaz and I have clicked so well. Like, he's a very, very smart businessman, but he's very, very humble, and he's very, very down to earth, and he's a great friend. I mean, he would do anything for anybody, and I'm not just saying that because he's sitting next to me, but he's very, very humble. I mean, there's nothing else I can say about that.
You know who I learned a lot from too? Watching Todd.
Really?
Just watching him how over the last 6-7 years. I mean, I used to fly off the handle. It never got me nowhere.
It won't.
The
So
one
Todd,
thing you have to accept being in business, you can't fix stupid.
So
Period.
Todd is who I work for part-time. He's a great high school friend of mine. We've been
Yep.
friends for years. That's the dump truck company that I work for part-time as a safety director. He's got a lot of stuff going on all the time. And he has learned he takes hits without letting it buckle him. You know what I mean?
Yep.
When things are going to happen, and when they happen, they can either break you or they can make you.
Yep. So what I mean by that is you got to remind yourself some of these people working for you, if they were as smart as you, they would be carrying the money bag. You know, employees need guidance, and then you got to know how to direct them. If you don't know how to direct them, they don't know how to direct you or they would be in business.
Well, they watch their superiors.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like in anything, if the leader is breaking down, the whole crew is breaking down.
Yeah.
So when things go bad, they're looking at you.
Right.
And if you're holding it together, they're able to hold it together.
I mean, I've been in business 15 years as a licensed tree expert. I've been doing work since I was 16 years old. I'm 42. 7-8 years ago, I had a catastrophic on my crew. It was a subcontractor climber. I was down climbers. I hired a subcontractor, and he got injured on my crew. If you can get through that, the blown motor in a truck is fixable, but you're not. What I haven't had many injuries, but I did have a guy that was paralyzed from the waist down because he didn't choose to tie into the harness. He stood in the bucket truck without a harness, and he made a bad decision, and it threw him out of the bucket truck. Unless it's bodily injury, everything else will take care of itself.
That's true. I mean, but you have to get through that initial
Yes.
hump.
Yeah.
Will said he wants to slip up here for a live stream.
Well, I'm
You're
gonna be
welcome
here too.
anytime.
We just might have to sit back a little bit so that way we can all fit.
We'll all fit. There's a spot right here where the Blandford's tree sign is.
Yeah, can't block the Blandford sign, Will.
Will, if you want to come up next month, send me a message, text me, call me, let me know. You're welcome anytime, buddy.
How many people we have?
101. We just jumped up to 101. Rachel says she'll drag them, but she won't gut them. Rachel, you just got to get through your first gut job, right? It's okay. I was there too. First time I go to the deer, I was right. Were you there?
Don't cut
the stomach.
The
stomach, right? Jack, Porter's Adventures. We're taking the bikes to Tennessee in the fall. Let me know what kind of shine you want. Jack, just bring it back. Bring it back, and we'll take care of it. Let me get caught up on this chat.
Any cues? July 7th.
Obi said July 27th is the next Thirsty Thursday. That's the last Thursday of the month. Rick said we should live stream taking down my mom's antennas.
Yeah.
What do you think?
We'll do whatever you want.
You want to live stream that? Everybody, when anybody watch that, we'll put
What's
Chaz's
that?
bucket truck up. We'll
You
take
tell
them.
me, Chaz. What's that mean?
Where?
Laugh my ass off.
Oh, that's Will Davidson. He wants to come
yeah.
up for the live stream.
I'm getting ready to look at my Facebook right now, and I better have a friend request from you.
Hardworking man, Heath. He says, "How do you know you're drunk?"
Look at that. Will did send me a Facebook. Donald did too. We'll get to him here soon.
Hardworking man says, "How do you know you're drunk?" Answer: you keep saying I'm intoxicated.
Yeah, I am intoxicated.
Jeremy's heading out.
Jeremy, quitters are for quitters.
Jeremy, you should join us one night on the live stream so everybody can
My
meet
Sunday
you.
school partner. We went to Sunday school together as kids.
Jeremy, one night you should join us on the live stream so everybody can meet who you are. Saul Surgeon, Ted said, Chaz, you are one of us. Catching up. Have you ever thought of adding a mini excavator to your fleet?
I don't know how that would even be beneficial. I just don't know. I mean,
it would be beneficial to me. I could hold a log up in the air and just buck that thing in the air.
So you have the grapple truck to pick it up now.
That's true.
So that's almost like a mini. I've seen people have them. I don't know how it could benefit, like, feeding a chipper. I mean, those minis feed the chipper pretty quick. Quick as that chipper can eat. The skid loader can grab some of that stuff. But I get it. Both of them could do the same, but the mini excavator is much slower. I guess what I need is to demo that thing for a week or two to make my mind accept that it would be beneficial. And let me tell you, if it's beneficial, I will buy it.
But the mini excavator, I think it's only beneficial if you can put it in a spot
And you
Pick
would
it
need
up
an awful big one.
and move it. Pick it up and move it.
Yes.
If you've got to crawl the thing to different places,
I don't know. But you need a big one. You would have that machine would have to weigh 12 to 13,000 pounds at least to even be able to, when you grab a 7,000 pound log or a 5,000 pound log, that thing will be tipping, won't it? Where you take that big Kubota 95 and you just grab it and go.
Shibe, if you want to come down, like we can have a whole gathering. We can have.
Bring your 880.
He doesn't have an 880.
What's he?
He's got a 500. The
Oh,
best saw.
yeah.
The best saw
It
ever
is the
made.
best. It is. But I'm talking about when you throw the big boys out there versus the big boys.
Well, I don't know.
That's what we need.
But
to
he's
do.
talking about the live stream. When you're here, Will's here, Jack's here, Shibe might be here. Can you imagine if we had all of us here on one live stream? I don't know if I'd be able to keep up with the chat. Taylor would have to be here that night to keep up because we would all just be standing back and Taylor would be monitoring the chat. So we'll set that up. How about we set a month? Whatever month is good for everybody. It's the last Thursday of the month.
No, we do the last Thursday of the year just before the holidays.
December.
Yeah.
I don't know what day that would fall on, but we'll have to check. Jack says next month, big guy.
For what?
The live stream.
Okay.
Like when everybody's here.
Okay.
I'll let you know on that, Jack.
He
There
might
might be
have pitching lessons.
there might be a conflict, but we will definitely set it up. I will let you know on that. We're still at 101 in the chat. Shibe says he's never gotten queasy from gutting a deer.
Yeah.
Not
no,
even your first time?
No, I've never got queasy. I'm just saying.
I'm not too big of a man to say I
I'm
got
going to tell
queasy
you,
the
I've
first
hit
time.
a stomach before, and you hear that,
And smell
noise,
and get that
and-
smell.
and people overreact sometimes of the smell, and they're like, bleh, bleh, but really it's in their head.
No.
But you know what? It doesn't. I've done hundreds of them.
I'm not too big of a man to say that it didn't get me the
Wait
first
till
time.
your wife sees this video. Makes fun of you.
Chaz, wait till your wife sees this video, makes fun of you for the next month.
That's okay.
Do you think you think Shanna will watch this?
I don't know. I mean, maybe when you post it on Facebook.
It'll be posted on Facebook as soon as this live stream's over.
It's okay. She can make fun of me. That's why we're together. If she doesn't make fun of me, she don't love me.
Ted, you're heading out. He's hitting the rack. Blessings to everybody. Thank you, Ted, for joining us tonight. I appreciate you stopping by. And I know Joe definitely appreciates you for taking care of that Easton Made Ultra. We're going to set up a huge live stream coming up here in the next month or so where it's going to be at least me, Chaz, Jack,
Will?
Shibe, and Will. 5 of us.
We're going to have the grill going on that one.
Yeah, we'll cook some stuff up.
We might be red-faced before we even get started.
We might be. We are below 100 people, so we're going to start to wrap this things up. Brandon says 100. Got to go milk. See ya. Brandon, thanks for joining
Where's
us.
his dairy farm at?
I don't know. Matt Weimer says, see you Tuesday, Chaz. That's when you're coming for his estimate. It's time for bed.
Hey, don't judge me, Matt. We're off the clock.
No, yeah, we're off the clock. Chaz's a good guy. He'll take care of you. Matt's a good buddy of mine. Chaz is a good buddy of mine. He will make sure he takes care of you. Shive's even heading out. Have a great night. Let me know when the live is. Sure will. All right. We're at 98 people. We're going to wrap it up tonight. I appreciate everybody being here. If you are a winner,
Adam's on here. He said, dude, This is hilarious. You
You
guys
guys-
got me cracking up. Adam,
Why aren't you
why are
commenting?
you commenting, man?
Make sure you're logged into YouTube and you need to subscribe to the channel.
Adam, come on, man.
All right. Well, thanks for everybody for joining us tonight. Thank you to all the super chatters. Thanks to the moderators for being here. I know we went way over time tonight, but it was a good time. We're going to have a whole party here coming up soon.
I don't know if I can bend down there, Brad.
No, you don't need to worry about that. But have a great night, everybody. We're going to
Thanks,
close.
everybody.
We're going to close out here for about 60 seconds so you all can say good night to each other, and we'll see you next month.